What's up, everyone? It's MDP the Greek here, back again. I'm finally giving you my post E3 thoughts. And for the gameplay, for the backdrop, I figured Lord of the Rings Conquest is an appropriate game to use because it kind of reflects one of two games I'm most excited for that was announced at E3. Since, Pandemic made this, they're unfortunately no longer a studio. You could possibly blame this game for it because it was pretty mediocre, pretty average. You can see that here. It is a fucking hard game. I'm just playing on normal. I guess they call it heroic in this, but I actually don't complete this level. I end up dying like all of my 3 times to what's his fucking face, like Worm Tongue or something. But anyway, so this E3, many would argue, was the most important E3 in a very long time because it was basically going to make or break the Xbox One for Microsoft. Many people were already on Sony's side, prior to this conference. They certainly are now. And Microsoft, they didn't really do a good job of it. I mean, their conference itself was fine, but they just kind of, any sort of excitement for the Xbox One kind of got washed away by Sony's. But, I mean, let's, I guess, talk about games first. So, the things that I'm most excited for, obviously, Nintendo announced the new Super Smash Bros., a new Mario Kart, a new Mario game itself, which, everyone was expecting. We all knew that was going to happen. But then, the 2 things that caught me by surprise are Kingdom Hearts 3, which I was fucking blown away by. I've been a Kingdom Hearts fan since the game first came out. I actually remember when I first bought, the first game, I didn't have a memory card for my PS2 at that point. And I was fucking, I don't know, 10 years old or something. And I remember, I'd just leave my PS2 on for days in the hopes that, I wouldn't lose my progress in the game. I've probably done Traverse Town in that game a good 50 times. Simply because of having to fucking start over again and again and again. But no, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are easily some of my favorite games ever. They combine the good aspects of Final Fantasy with kind of almost a JRPG type hack and slash style of gameplay with Disney characters, and it all seemed to fit together really well. So I'm really excited for the third one. It's actually prior to contrary belief, at least on that first day of the conference, it's not going to be a Sony exclusive because Square Enix is doing both Microsoft's and Sony consoles now. So it will also be on the Xbox One. I'm not sure about the Wii U or any other Nintendo platforms that it might be coming onto, but yeah, it's going to be on both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, so that's super cool. Also, we have Star Wars Battlefront 3, finally. Unfortunately, as I said, Pandemic went under, so it's actually being developed by a DICE subsidiary, I believe, which you could consider as bad news. The same studio that develops Medal of Honor Warfighter is making Battlefront 3, so we'll see how it ends up being. Maybe we can get some gameplay sometime in the next year or so of it, but they've basically got the entire hopes of the internet on their shoulders, because I know, me personally, and a lot of people I know hold the Battlefront games close to their heart. They just have a special place for us. It's part nostalgia and part just well, it's actually mostly nostalgia, but it's just a lot of just that. Those were fantastic games. They were executed so well. I would even argue that they're a bit ahead of their time. But yeah, I mean, in terms of software, I gotta say this was a really great E3. Of course, we got our Halo 5 trailer. We had Titanfall, which is a Microsoft platform exclusive. I believe it's only coming to the PC and Xbox One. That looked phenomenal. It just had this awesome blend of both mech and infantry gameplay. It seemed to work really, really great. We had things like Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare, which I personally was not expecting. It's an interesting premise. It looks pretty cool, though. We had, of course, Final Fantasy 14-2, or whatever it's called, the new Final Fantasy game. A lot of people are really excited about that. We had Metal Gear Solid 5, which was, interestingly enough, shown off on the Microsoft press conference. Of course we had like some Splinter Cell stuff. I'm really excited for the return of Spies versus Mercs because Chaos Theory multiplayer was a huge part of my online gaming in the early days. We have a lot of things. We had some no, not that one. That's offensive. We had some Black Flag gameplay, which Assassin's Creed 3, honestly, it kind of ruined the series for me. It was really bland, but Black Flag looks promising. It looks like they're almost kind of returning to their roots of, well, not their roots, but the roots of Assassin's Creed 2. We had, I think Pikmin 3, and a new Rayman game, which featured a little girl with really huge boobs. Kind of confused me, it kind of creeped me out a little bit, but, it's fucking Aisha Tyler hosting their conference, and it's Ubisoft, so I'm not surprised. But as for the actual consoles themselves, Microsoft has not done a good job at all with the Xbox One and their marketing of it and their promoting of it, or their attempts at promoting it. It's going to be $500, whereas the PlayStation 4 will be $400. We have that whole used games and always online fiasco that I'm sure all of you know about. It's it's I believe Don Matrick actually, in an interview with Jeff Keighley or something on Game Trailers, said that if you don't like the Xbox One's internet policies, to just stick with the 360. That was not a good way to handle it. I really think that guy needs a serious talk with their PR department, because that was just awful. That got the internet in a gigantic fucking shitstorm if it wasn't already. But here's the interesting part is, Microsoft has always said, obviously with the exclusive titles and other stuff, we're gonna, have participating retailers, allow you to trade in your games. I believe probably, it's safe to assume GameStop's gonna be one of them. Probably Best Buy. Probably, some overseas retailers. I believe there's one in the UK called Game or something. But, Sony came out after their conference, and they stated that as for their used game policy, the first-hand titles will obviously be how they always were, and that you can trade them, you can sell them, you can do whatever you want with them. But as for third-party titles, it's really going to come down to the publisher. So you gotta imagine with publishers like EA and Activision and 2K and that sort of stuff, are they going to take the same approach that Microsoft is taking with their games on the PlayStation 4? Are they going to allow them to be traded in, or are they not? EA recently abandoned their whole online pass thing, which is great news, but are they abandoning it just in place of some sort of policy that does not allow you to trade in your games? I gotta say that, obviously that this is the obvious direction that gaming is going in. Steam has been like this for years. If you'll look at the game industry for the last 4 or 5 years, you could tell that this was coming. This trend of policies involving online gameplay and security and that all that crap. It certainly didn't take me by surprise. I can say that as of right now, I think the PlayStation 4 looks like the console to buy. However, I'm an idiot. Halo has always had a special place in my heart. And after seeing both conferences, I have to say that as of right now, obviously that's probably subject to change, but at this very moment, it looks like Microsoft has better exclusives coming to the Xbox than Sony does for the PlayStation. But, that could always change. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I will be picking up an Xbox One at launch, and I'll try to be picking up the PlayStation 4 as well, because they both look like fantastic consoles in their own right. But, we'll have to... Why is my video quality getting so shitty? Alright, here's this asshole, fucking Worm Tongue. It's a fucking dickhole. But, I don't know. I want to be able to afford both consoles, but this always just brings me back to, I'm also a PC gamer. I've built my own rig. It was cheap, relatively cheap anyway, and it definitely is worth the investment. So any of you watching this, if you haven't already, I highly recommend checking out PC gaming. Steam is a fantastic platform Origin, honestly, is working its way towards becoming that. And it's just, you know, my computer fell asleep. It's, PC gaming is the way to go right now. If I could, if it wasn't for Halo, I probably would never buy a console ever again. But, you know, whatever. Battlefield 4 looked fantastic. Anything else that I left out, let me know. I might post another video. But thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. I've enjoyed all your positive comments and critiques of my video so far. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I love you. And thanks for watching this mediocre gameplay of a very mediocre game. Alright, talk to you guys later.